Hi, this is Simon with just a brief reminder to follow us on our Facebook page, Chronicles on the Fly. Like the page, send us a message, any questions or anything that you would like us to talk about. And maybe on the next episode, we'll do just that. So there you go. Chronicles on the Fly on Facebook. Thanks. Let's get into the show.
Getting another terminal, that's all I want. They said, no, it's due to high levels of fraud. What a mob of So because they make money that way, they charge $1.50 or whatever it is, 1.5% per transaction. Yeah. They're happy to let that one go through. But anything else, no, of course not. He goes, yeah, but you have to get customers to come in. And he's going, yeah, but you do realise it's COVID-19. Not everyone wants to come in.
Yeah.
It's a fucking good argument, eh? I was like, Mika, these fuck sticks.
Yeah. All right, should we get underway? I mean, it's definitely, Hollywood and stuff is rife with this stuff. You look at that Pommy presenter from years back. What was his name? He's dead now.
Oh, yeah, he was brutal, eh? Was he a ped too, was he?
What was his name?
Oh, Jimmy
Savile?
Yeah.
That's it. Louis Theroux did a documentary on him.
What a piece of shit he was.
Oh, yeah. He was.
Oh, when he was alive?
It's an old documentary, but that Louis Theroux, his documentaries are awesome.
Most of them are awesome.
Yeah, most. Yeah, not some are a bit. But
he's very left wing, but he's very leftist.
I love his approach. How he just plays dumb to get information out of people, and that's partly his personality and partly on purpose as well.
Yeah, like the one when he went to Westboro Church. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
He just took the piss out of him. This cunt didn't even fucking realise
He's just got this almost childlike curiosity.
Yeah.
And people just, get sucked in, or not sucked in, but they trust him because he's very non-threatening.
Yeah. Scientology was another one. That was another beauty. Yeah, I do like Louis Theroux. He's good and I like him. Oh, I watched The Sopranos first episode.
Oh, that was going to be my first question for you. Did you finally watch it? Okay, you've watched the pilot, because I actually watched the pilot again during the week. So what do you think?
It's okay. I can.
All right. It's not the greatest start, but you're going to continue, aren't you?
But spoiler alert. I thought, no, I've got to fucking read about this, and I'm going to watch this, and I'm going to watch YouTube on this, right? I watched the season finale.
No, I told you don't do that.
But I've seen it already. I've already seen that.
The whole series finale.
Just the last scene. The last scene.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but I've seen it before. I knew what happened.
All right.
I already knew he was in the Don. I already know. Okay. I told you last week. I'd seen it.
But what I was saying to you last week, like the way the scene cuts in and out from shot to shot, it's absolute genius, and you don't actually get that first time around.
But I've watched it about 10 times before even.
Anyway, go back to the pilot. What do you think of the pilot?
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't done an intro thing. Anyway, let's just quickly do an intro. Oh, we're on Chronicles on the Fly, episode 7. All right, carry on.
Yeah. What do I think of the pilot? I thought it was a bit slow, to be honest with you.
Yeah, okay.
I did like the part where he broke the guy's legs. That was pretty cool.
When they ride up the
Where's my money? Where's my fucking money?
Of the university or wherever they are, and they run him down.
Where's my fucking money? It was quality.
Punch him in the nuts, and then Christopher pelts him, kicks his ass. Oh, all right.
Yeah, I thought that was.
And what about in the butcher shop?
The butcher shop. Which one was that one?
Christopher kills email.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, walks behind, poof, puts a bullet in his head.
What are you, some kind of Polak?
I'm Czech. Yeah, that was pretty good. Then
email. No, it's Emil. Whatever.
It was. I found that it was okay. I could see it coming to. You could see that it can potentially be awesome. Right?
I was just saying the way it's got the voiceover. Tony's got a voiceover, doesn't he? I think.
Yeah.
So that doesn't, spoiler alert, that doesn't last. Okay. I think episode 2, there's no more voiceover. Tony talking to the camera type of thing. Not facing the camera, but, speaking over. And you know what? Sex and the City started that way as well. The first season of Sex and the City was a lot of Carrie turning to the camera and talking to the camera. And that was just... and I think they realised after season 1 that didn't work. Or at least Sopranos realised after the pilot that didn't work. Because between a pilot and doing the rest of season 1 of series, normally there's months and months because they got to do a pilot, then they got to wait, get the go ahead from the studio and that type of thing. So there's a difference from episode 1 to episode 2. Yeah, did you know that the psychiatrist, right?
Yeah, she's from Goodfellas.
Yeah, right. Lorraine Bracco.
Yep.
So she plays Melfi, the psychiatrist. She was originally going to be his wife, Carmela Soprano. Yeah. But she didn't want to do it because she felt like she was already stereotyped in that role because of her Goodfellas role, which is fair enough because she's good at the role she's got.
She actually did a pretty good job as Dr. Melfi, from what I saw anyway.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she's an excellent character, yeah. I mean, look, every single character in that show, in Sopranos, this is why it's the greatest show ever made. Every single character in that show is perfect for the character, right?
Oh, well, Uncle, what's his name?
Uncle Junior.
Yeah.
He's
Uncle
brilliant.
Junior.
He's brilliant.
And then there was Artie. Was it Artie, the guy who owns
Artie
the shop there? Was it him?
Yeah.
And that they set fire to?
Yeah.
He didn't want to take the cruise, which was brilliant. Like, I look at that and thought, tactically, that's brilliant. You know what I mean? Well done, Tony.
The way Tony gives it away when he goes, "You got to get out of town." When Artie says he can't go, you got to get out of town.
Yeah, that was. I thought that was, but I did appreciate how it went from you getting then it's like Mickey, he blew up the building. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was good. I thought that was pretty good.
Silvio's walking away from the building at middle of the night. He checks he goes across the road. He stops, pulls up his pads, checks both ways. It's the middle of the night. There's no one around before he crosses the road. Oh, geez, I just love this show. I could watch it any time.
It's actually yeah. I can see why. Like, I wasn't like saying, "Oh, I've got to watch episode," because I was like, it was still early enough for me to watch the second episode. I thought, no,
it's too early for you to be like, I've got to binge it,
Yeah.
But you'll get to that. Don't worry.
But I will continue to watch it. And like I said to you, spoiler alerts. I mean, I'm not this type of person who gets upset because I've seen know what's happening, because it doesn't bother me, right?
Okay.
But like I said to you, I've seen this last scene because everyone. Well, when was the last scene? When did it come out? 15 years ago, thereabouts. When it came out, I think it was a big controversy, and everyone was like, "Okay, I've got to watch it to see what the controversy is." And
how smart is that David Chase ended it in a controversial way? How smart is it? Because it's just guaranteed that it was going to be talked about for a long time to come.
The thing is, I think why he did it was because you don't know what actually happened. He might have survived. He might not have survived.
Exactly right. And it's leaving.
Who killed him?
I mean, I've got my theory of, and at the end of the day, you could say, "Oh, I think he died," or "I think he lived." At the end of the day, the show ended. It doesn't matter, and it's not real life. So
no, look at it this way. How do you know Godfather 3 didn't happen? How do you know Meadow didn't get shot? Well, she was coming in.
Oh, okay. You've seen it, so we may as well talk about it at the ending. For me, the guy that goes into the toilet, right, and comes back out, that brings back the Godfather when Michael goes into the toilet and kills the police commissioner and Solazzo, right, in the restaurant. It's in a restaurant. Mm-hmm. You've got that's bringing that back. Okay.
And apparently, I hadn't seen the whole episode, but I was watching that spoiler alert. They were saying there was a scene where Tony's doing something with oranges in the last episode. And that oranges is saying, I don't know, he's holding oranges or...
Like when the Godfather dies.
Yes, it was like, yeah.
I don't remember oranges.
Yeah, so this was check it on YouTube, the spoiler alert there.
Anyway. But yeah, to me, the guy comes out of the toilet and blows the whole family away. There's no two ways about it, right?
Well, like I was saying, you don't know. I was thinking maybe, Meadows walking in because there was such a focus on her reversing the car, how she fucked it up.
They're going back and forward, parallel parking the car. That's just wasting time. I don't know. It's just for timing effect that she comes into the restaurant late. I don't see any more than that in it.
Oh, I just looked at it as if, could that be focusing on her to say the reason why she was late and then when she walks in
just in time to see her father get blown away. Yeah.
Or maybe she gets shot, hence the Godfather 3 sequel, and you see Tony looking at his dead daughter. You don't know.
Like in the end of Godfather 3 when, what's her name?
Yeah, Michael's
daughter, Sophia Coppola. But what's her character name? The worst acting performance you'll ever see. Because that's Francis Ford Coppola's daughter.
Yes, well, it does help. She's actually apparently a very good executive producer or director or something.
Yeah. But as an actress, she was a shocker. Just very not good. Okay, but I've always taken it that Meadow comes in just in time to see Tony get shot. And another key thing in that final scene is the ringing of the bell whenever the door opens. Okay.
Yeah.
So Meadow, and it happens throughout the scene. People are entering the restaurant, and every time they enter, ding, the doorbell goes, right? And what that's coming back, what that brings back, I don't know if I should be telling you this.
Well, I've seen this. I've seen the yeah.
But a few episodes before that, so I think there's 23. I think in the final season. So like episode 20 or 21. Tony and Bobby Bacala, his second in charge at that point, are at their holiday home, right near the lake somewhere. Right,
that's his brother-in-law, Bobby Bacala.
Yes, yeah, that's right. His brother.
So that's Tony's sister's husband.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're sitting on a boat on the lake, and they're talking about what will happen, if you eventually die or if you get shot. And there's this ringing of a bell, like it's coming from a boat, right? Okay, it's just in the background of the scene, this background noise. And Bobby says, when it happens, right, meaning when or if you get shot, you probably don't even hear it coming. All right? You probably don't even hear it, like the shot of the gun. You probably don't even hear it. Okay, and then the final thing that happens is ringing of the bell, fade to black or cut to black, all right? And that's bringing that. I would bet my life on that. That's what David Chase was doing. And I'll just bring back, remember, year 12, Mrs. Hazel, right? Foreshadowing. Do you remember that?
No, I don't recall that. G'day, Miss Hazel, anyway.
What a legendary teacher she was, mate.
Yeah. She
brought me back from an F to a B in year 12.
I was happy with the C, so it didn't bother me. You're going back to yes, I agree. I do understand. I see your point, but I just left it so open. There's just
That's why it's such a perfect ending.
Apparently, there's 2 African American guys that walk in.
Yes.
Apparently, they were put there because they were saying maybe that was for retaliation for when Tony apparently killed some African Americans or something in the car.
Well, there's a couple of occasions where that kind of stuff, because sometimes they hire some African American guys to do hit jobs and things like that.
Yeah. Well, apparently, the one time he shot someone in the car. Is that correct?
Yes.
Maybe they said was that they go, did these guys come in for retaliation for that?
No, I don't think that it wasn't a big enough thing to carry on to the final episode. I don't think.
Yeah, but it wasn't enough not to, because, hey, he killed somebody. It's going to be retaliation one way or another.
Well, look, the final episode is called Made in America, right? So I think that's probably just trying to diversify the type of people, because you've got the different types of people sitting at all the booths, right? So there's a young couple, there's Boy Scouts with the scout leader. So, it makes sense that you're going to have some African-American people as well as white people. You know what I mean? Made in America, it's a melting pot. That's what that's alluding to. You've got the Italian-American mafioso and his family. Made in America.
There was a scene in that last scene, they showed it on this spoiler on YouTube. It shows Tony looking, like when he walks in, you could see him sitting at the table. Did you see that?
Yes.
They're saying he walks in, is that him looking at himself or what he's done or what he could have been?
Do you see what I mean? How good this scene is, that how many years later we're talking about this?
Do you know what I do like about the scene, which I think is very underrated, was the fact that when it cut to black, there was 10 seconds before he credits because apparently everyone was saying, "Oh my God, what happened? Did the cable go out?"
That's so everyone can pick their tongue up off the floor. It's like, what happened?
Because what?
Some people did think the power cut out.
Yeah.
I just, mate, the hair on the back of my neck pricks up when I talk about this because it is so good. Don't ever let anyone tell you that this is not the best series ever made in the history of television.
Apparently, there's he inspired a lot of other TV series.
Yeah.
The Sopranos. There was a list of them. It was like, wow, it was pretty impressive.
Well, because it was the first, long-running HBO type of series like this, that, it was almost like at least half a movie every week, right? They were an hour long. They weren't like 40 minutes like they are now. With commercials, I think they were an hour long every week.
Yeah, the first episode was 57 minutes without commercials.
There you go.
The second one is 47 minutes without commercials.
Right.
So how many episodes was there? Like 200 or something?
No, 86 I think it is. Yeah, over 6 seasons. That's why I said to you, I'll see you in 86 nights. Talk to me now, 86 nights. If you, I'll watch it again with you. Like, try and keep up and watch it. And this podcast might just become a Sopranos podcast.
Sopranos or The Godfather or Goodfellas or Casino.
All right.
Some of the other greatest movies of all time.
While we're on the theme, Godfather Part 3, we'd mentioned it just quickly before.
I'll be honest, I have not seen that in probably close to 15, maybe more years. And to say did not leave a lasting impression in my mind.
No.
The only impression that really left a lasting impression was the last scene when Michael dies and he's died by himself, without his family. That's the only thing I can take away from the whole Godfather 3. Apparently at that time, Puzo really didn't want to write one or make one, apparently. But I think he was forced to make it from Paramount.
I mean, they did it. I think that was it 93? So 1 and 2 were within, 2 years of each other in late 70s? That's actually,
there was 72 and 74, I think it was.
Was it 72?
72, 74? I'm pretty sure it was.
So that's a long time between drinks, huh?
Yeah, and the other comment I liked from Godfather 3 was, just when I got out, they dragged me back in.
They pulled me. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Yeah, The Godfather, 1972.
Yeah.
Wow.
72, considering the 70s didn't really have a lot of good movies, compared to the 80s, which I believe personally, I reckon the 80s. But in saying that, they reckon 1994 was the best year of movies of all time.
94. Why? What came out in 94?
Shawshank Redemption, Forrest Gump.
Yeah, 2 good films.
Yeah, just type in, I think it's 1994.
So Godfather Part 3 was 1990.
90, yeah.
So between Godfather 2, which was 74.
16 years, man.
16 years.
Here we go. Apparently, this came out in 94, Simon. The Lion King, The Crow, Pulp Fiction, Ace Ventura, Forrest Gump, Shawshank Redemption. Some pretty good movies there.
Remember Shawshank Redemption? We watched that in year, would have been 10, 11, was it year 12? In religion class. Yeah, that was a top film. It's on every second month on TV.
Natural Born Killers was there as well.
Schindler's List.
The Legends of the Fall, Speed, Clear and Present Danger.
And what do we get these days? We get remakes of Spider-Man and comics and stuff like that I just have no interest in.
So if you look at 1994, there was some pretty powerful movies,
Godfather 1, the best film ever made?
No, best film ever made, according to IMDb, is actually Shawshank Redemption.
Really?
Highest rated, yeah, but it's a great movie. You can't...
Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
If you actually look at IMDb, greatest movies of all time,
okay,
the list, where is it? I've got it here.
Godfather's got to be in top 5.
No, The Godfather's number 2, and Godfather 2 is number 3.
You confused me there for a second. Godfather 2 is number... So Shawshank Redemption, Godfather 1, Godfather 2.
Godfather 2. I personally still think The Godfather's the greatest movie. Here we are. Top rated movies of all time. Here we are. Top 250. First is Shawshank Redemption. Second is The Godfather. Third is Godfather Part 2. Fourth is The Dark Knight. I mean, it was a great movie, but I don't know if I'd put it 4. And Heath Ledger, you reckon the other Joker played a great role. Watch that one. He played a fantastic.
Oh yeah, I've seen it, and Heath Ledger is definitely the best one.
Yeah, that one there. So I don't know if I'd put that at 4, but Schindler's List, that's 6. I've never heard of the movie Angry Men, 1957, so I don't count. Yeah, Lord of the Rings, don't really rate that one.
Haven't seen it.
Pulp Fiction, number 8. The Good, the Bad, the Ugly at 9. And The Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring at number 10.
I've never seen a Lord of the Rings film or a Harry Potter film.
Or a Star Wars, me personally.
Star Wars I gave up on after when they started doing the new ones, episode 1, episode 2. I stopped after episode 2. I thought this is ridiculous. Because the ones that we grew up on,
I didn't even watch them either.
Didn't you? All right. I grew up with the original 3,
which was
right?
Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and
Return of the Jedi, and what's the other one?
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, there's
Star Wars, actual Star Wars. Yeah, Star Wars.
Oh, it was just called Star Wars. All right. So episodes 4, 5, and 6 anyway. Brilliant. But when they started remaking them after we'd grown up, with CGI and all this nonsense, that's just not interested.
I'm not interested at all in Star Wars. I don't know. Star Trek, Star Wars, none of that sci-fi.
I've never seen Star Trek.
I'm not into that, any of that sci-fi sort of genre. It doesn't really interest me.
No.
I would give me a good action or a comedy any day of the week. And for 80s, for comedy, we're the best.
All right. Yes, but with Godfather 2, my favourite scene in Godfather 2 is when the Godfather, so De Niro, playing by De Niro, goes back to kill the old mafioso who killed his father.
Robusto nuovo di questo paese.
He goes, mi padre si chiama Vito Andolini. E questo petia.
That's a good scene.
I just love it.
That's a good scene. Yeah, but see, Godfather 1 was brilliant. I can't really split. It's a tough one because even when he was back in Cuba,
one beats 2 because it's the original.
But you know what? The 2's got a lot of very powerful, man.
Oh yeah,
very very.
I've got the box set with his. I think there's 2 extra DVDs of like director's cuts and things that didn't make it into the
extra
scenes and stuff like that. It's brilliant to watch. It's been years since I watched it, but I'm glad I've got that.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. It's like picking between your 2 favorite pets. You know what I mean? Or it's like picking between your 2 children. You know what I mean? Who do you love more? So,
I love in Godfather 1 the wedding. So the start.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, it's just brilliant.
Yeah. Great scene. Very powerful scene. If you like, I've got my daughter's wedding now. That was a great scene. Great scene.
Be my friend. Be my friend. Godfather.
Luca Brasi. And like even when they kill
Luca Brasi. Did you pick up in the Sopranos?
Yes, the season 1 he said
he says,
Luca Brasi.
What does he say? Louis Brasi?
Yeah, Louis.
Christopher goes, Louis Brasi sleeps with the fishes and Big Pussy's he goes, Luca Brasi. It's Luca. There's that type of stuff is scattered all throughout, just piss takes.
But even some of the American Italian slangs is sometimes like, oh geez, boys, you know what I mean?
Oh, look, Italian Americans, I find them frustrating. Right, and it comes back to the fact that they're an extra generation removed than we are.
Maybe two extra generations.
Maybe 2 because they started filling up from Italy after World War I. Whereas,
if you have a look, you have a look at supposedly the story of Mr. Tony Soprano, right? Tony Soprano, grandfather came from Avellino, in near Naples. His grandfather came. And that's so Tony Soprano would be like our father. So that'll be our great-grandfather coming from, whereas me and you, our fathers came from Italy and our grandparents came from Italy. Well, in my case, my grandparents came from Italy and my father came from Italy, just like yours did.
Yeah, so we are first generation.
First generation. These guys are 4th generation.
Yes, okay.
There's a difference,
and
like even though they talk, and you got to understand, like none of them can speak Italian. They might speak But in saying that, like my cousin, I have cousins in New Jersey. Like they were born in Italy. The parents were born in Italy.
Okay.
And then they had children that are my age.
Yeah.
That are my age and a little bit older. So they're first generation Italian. So they still speak Calabrese, believe it or not. It's quite funny.
Mm-hmm.
But he speaks Calabrese. When I went there, he spoke English, American English, and Calabrese. So I was talking to him, Menzo Calabrese, and like the accent, I was like, yeah, this is real Jersey, forget about it. But I thought that was all bullshit. It's real, man.
The guy who makes the cakes, what's his name?
Buddy Valestro.
The cake boss.
Yeah, Buddy Valestro.
So he's got that real Jersey woggy.
But it's true. That's actually true. Until you go there, you're like, now I was just talking to my cousin. I'm like losing it. I was like, I can't laugh at his face, but that's just how he talks. That's just the accent.
We don't have that here, really, as on a much smaller, level in terms of the accent and all that. Mm.
But if you ask an American to impersonate an Australian, you listen to them when they talk, they think how we sound. It's actually hilarious.
What you mean? Just any Australian, or
any Australian,
not Italian Australian, like
no, just in general. They got like they kind of it's actually funny. No, we don't sound like that.
Yeah, but like watching The Sopranos, the way they say Italian words when they say Italian words, like when they say ricotta, right? It's rigat. It's just I want to vomit. It's like.
And the cannoli, it's cannoli. They go, get the cannolis. There's no G in there, man.
Gabagoo, capocollo, right? Oh. The meat, the meat.
Yeah, capocollo,
right? Which is not a big one here. But
here, it's not here. It's not.
But gabagoo, it's just, it's.
Yeah. And the other one was like, even the name of his boat. I know the name of his boat. It's called Stugotz. It's like,
Stugotz. How do they spell it? Stoguts. Yeah.
It was like, man, seriously, can't get any more. It's supposed to be Stugotz, you know what I mean?
Yeah. These people, these Italian Americans, they could not write Italian to save their lives, let alone speak it.
Yeah. But in saying that, believe it or not, like here in Australia, there's been a mass wave of Italians move to New York in the past 10, 15 years.
Oh, well, just like they've been moving here as well. But obviously a bigger city like New York is going to attract more than Perth or even Sydney.
So they got there's been a huge immigration from Italy to New York City. And bearing in mind, a lot of because where New York's situated, which you have to understand as well, is because it's so close to Canada there, a lot of Canadians are like us. A lot of Canadian Italians are like our generation because their grandfathers, because you don't understand, I think America closed the borders supposedly in the mid-20s. I think it was 24 when it closed. And then after 24, it was Argentina and Brazil, or Argentina really was the one that they all went to. So you had a mass immigration of Italian migrants going to Argentina, so much to the point that 40-something% of the population, is 45% of the Argentinian population have Italian blood in them.
Yeah. Well, the two biggest football clubs in Buenos Aires, River Plate and Boca Juniors, they've got Italian origins, both of them.
Have they really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the Italian immigration, they wouldn't have been, especially Boca Juniors. Yeah.
And even you got to understand, same with Brazil. Brazil's Italian.
Brazil actually has more Italians than Argentina, I believe.
Yes, it's correct. But again, they are great grandparents. So when they emigrated, they went to America or to Brazil. So you find a lot of them are that generation, that old. And believe it or not, Peru's believe it or not, a lot of Peruvian Italians.
Venezuela does too. Yeah. You mentioned Canada before. I find that Australia and Canada are very similar countries culturally.
Culturally, just the weather's completely.
Just in attitudes.
Yeah, but you understand. But we're both Commonwealth countries.
That might be, and that might come into it, yeah.
So when you're talking your parliamentary systems, your way of systems are very similar as are here, as are in Canada.
Well, because I went on Kentucky tour in 2002, and one of the guys I kept in touch with was an Italian-Canadian guy, and then he, I don't know, maybe 10 years or so ago, he came and stayed with me because because he just came on a holiday to Australia. I think 3 or 4 nights he came and stayed with me, and just having him at around the table with my family, having dinner and that, just in conversation, the similarities between maybe it's Italian Aussies and Italian Canadians are very similar, rather than just Australians and Canadians. I'm not sure, but I just had the feeling that we were very, very like-minded.
Oh yeah,
in cultural and traditional ways and things like that. Whereas I find that with Americans, Australians are quite different, even though we get along because obviously you got the common thread of speaking English. But I find that a lot of the time Australians and Americans are quite different.
Yeah, they're very different I think, look, I've been to America a couple of times and I really do like America. I reckon it's a fascinating country. And if you ask me right now, at my age, as I stand right now, if I had a choice to go do a trip of America or a trip of Europe, right now, as I stand, I'd take a trip of America.
Well, right now you're not going anywhere.
Well, right now, but at my age and what I feel like, I think I can get more from America than what I could from Europe. Because as much as I love the history and the culture and all that, America in itself is a fascinating place.
I'm completely opposite. I mean, obviously you've seen both, and I haven't. But I'd go back to Europe every time, and especially because I want to take my kids back there and introduce my kids to family back there and things like that. Don't you want to do that? Yeah,
but again, look. Okay, I'm just talking forget about wife and kids, just as yourself, right?
Forget about the wife and kids. All right, tell her that.
No, but I'll take my wife somewhere else. I'll take her somewhere nice for a family holiday.
Okay. Bali.
No, I'll take. Okay, I'll take my wife and children to Disneyland. There you go. That's where I'll take my children, because I think they would appreciate Disneyland more, and my wife would like it, and that's what I believe.
Have you been there before?
No, I haven't. Not to Disneyland.
All right.
Or Wally World, whatever it was called.
Wally World. Talk about great movies.
Yeah, that's funny, man. I'd throw that one in.
Very good. Oh, geez. They get there and it's closed. Oh, geez, I'm crying thinking about that film.
I think that's where I'd take I think my wife would appreciate that. See, whereas I like museums.
Okay.
I do like going to.
You want to talk about museums? For me, the greatest museum that I've ever been to is in Rome, the Piazza Venezia. You know the white typewriter building? They call it the typewriter.
Yeah, sort of.
It's the monument to Vittorio Emanuele first.
The one with the horses at the front.
Yes, right. So that's where the
that's where we went
soldier.
to go find I went to go get the Bandera di Roma, the Comune di Roma. Remember?
The Comune is the local council is behind it, right?
And we went to go get the flag, remember?
That's right. I got the original flag made.
Yeah.
But that building there, inside it is like the history of Italy, Garibaldi and all that. I went there with my brother. I think it was 2009 or 2012. I can't remember which trip. But we went in there, and it's just all these stuff like from the unification of Italy in 1860. I think, is that right? It's just amazing, and we just went through that place so slowly because we were just taking it all in. This is the history of our forefathers' place of birth. It was just an amazing experience for me being in that place, in this museum, and just the history and the culture. It's just taking me back now.
At my life, yes, you're right. I would love to go there when I'm 65. So I could take me and my wife, we'll go there and say, look, this is where our families come from for the history.
Why would you want to wait till 65?
But what I'm saying is right now, I'd rather go see the Uss Intrepid Museum. You ever heard of that?
No, what's that?
Okay, the Uss Intrepid is an aircraft carrier docked in New York City.
Permanently
docked in New York City, right? It is a floating museum. Right. On board, you get to go see, right? You get to walk into a British Airways Concorde. You get to go and sit in an F-16 Fighting Falcon. You get to go see a Blackbird SR-21 plane.
Yeah.
Amazing. They've got the actual the space shuttle, one of the space shuttle things, Endeavour or one of them, permanently located on there. So you get to go into a space shuttle. Shit like that, man, is just mind-blowing. You're not going to go to...
It sounds good, but that doesn't connect with me. For me, what I just told you about the history of Italy and all that type of thing, that is, you know what I mean? To me, that's connected to us. Mm. You know what I mean? I feel a connection with that in some way.
Yeah, I do too. I agree. No question about it.
We were actually in that museum, the Altare della Patria, they call it, right? The altar of patria. What would you call it? Patriotism. Was that word come from? So it closes at 6:00. Me and my brother were still walking through, looking at things. They locked the doors on us. The security guard closed up. He didn't even realize we were still there. It was we heard these doors shut, and we turn around, and the security guard sees us and goes, "Oh my God, you're still here!" I'm like, "Oh, sorry, we didn't realize you're closing." And he goes, "No, take your time." It was amazing. He just don't worry. He saw that we were so kind of involved in about looking through all this stuff. He said, no, you're right, take your time. Well, we didn't take too much time, another 5-10 minutes at the most, but we were there till after closing time. We were just that engrossed in it. I'm telling you one day that's a place too. I'm not saying don't go to New York and see the USS. Have you seen it already? Did you go to it?
When I went like an idiot, I'm driving back and I missed the Guggenheim Museum, which is supposed to be one of the best museums in the world. The Museum of Natural History, I missed that one. Yeah. But I missed all these great museums. And
New York, like Rome, is, you can spend a month there and not see everything.
Oh, man. And so I remember I got the taxi. Me and my wife got the taxi and we're driving back. And we're going from, actually, because we landed in JFK, but I took off from, it was either New York or LaGuardia, one of the two. Wasn't JFK.
Newark is what it's called.
Newark, yeah,
that's
Newark.
In New Jersey? Yeah.
In Jersey. Actually, could have been that one. Anyway, so I left, it was Newark, I think. So when we went to Newark, and I'm driving past it, and I said, oh, there's an aircraft carrier docked here. He goes, no, that's a permanent display. It's a museum. I said, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, you can go on there and have a look. He goes, it's got all the planes and all this. And I like aviation history. I reckon it's fascinating. Yeah. Considering that the first plane might have taken off in, 1906 or whatever, to where we are now in 120 years. Jesus Christ. How has plane traveled? How has the history of aviation traveled so fast? I find it fascinating. And I was like, oh, my God. And he was telling me what I had, all these exhibitions. And I told him, well, Paula, we got to stay another day. She goes, no, we got to go. I was like, all right. So I got to come back here. I got to see this. Yeah. This is amazing.
No, look, fair enough. I would like to see that too.
And I went and saw the 9/11 museum. That was a very sombering experience. That one. That's the word.
Are they making good money out of it?
Well, when I was there, they were still building the Freedom Tower. It was about halfway. No, it was over halfway. It was over halfway. But you could see, and it shows like you did the walkthrough and this is where this happened, that's what that happened, that's what this happened. Yeah, it was quite, put a bit of a tear to your eye. And I'm not a person who gets very emotional, but you could see it. They really tugged on the heartstrings. So
I'd like to see that.
And just those small things, And what else I didn't do was I did a movie tour when I was in New York. So I did all the spots and you would love it. It showed me No Soup for You, man. Remember him?
Soup Nazi.
Seinfeld. Soup Nazi, him. So I went to the Soup Nazi there. And the Friends, they showed
the greatest comedy ever made is Seinfeld.
Oh, there's some great comedies, but he's brilliant. The best, actually, going back to Seinfeld, the best one was where Kramer and Jerry, where they decided not to, where they had a bet on, and Kramer goes, "That's it, I'm out." The best scene. I'm out. That's
it. The contest. It's called The Contest. I think that episode.
That is the best scene ever. I don't give a shit. Out of the whole Seinfeld.
The king of my castle. Oh God. You type in The Contest in Google, and that's the first thing that comes up.
There was. I saw. Where did I see it? I saw. With Ghostbusters. the original Ghostbusters where they were housed. It's actually a fire department in New York City, and at the front, it's actually got the Ghostbusters logo still printed on the floor where they shot it.
There are a bunch of movies that they made us watch in primary school that everybody loved, right? All the other kids loved, and I had to bite my tongue because I hated them with a passion, all right? The 3 movies that I remember are the Ghostbusters, hated it, right? Even as a kid.
No, I don't really find it, yeah.
I found it just so annoying, right? Never Ending Story, hated it.
I actually went year one, Never Ending Story, Cinema City in Perth.
Okay. They made us sit through this so many times in primary school. Yeah. And the third one was Mary Poppins.
Yeah, I didn't rate that either. Yeah.
Imagine, I'm a kid in primary school, year 4, year 5, whatever. All I've got on my mind is I want to be in the playground kicking a ball, right? And they make you sit through Mary Poppins. Oh.
No, definitely. I didn't watch Ghostbusters. I definitely watched Never Ending Story. I didn't really rate that. Like I said, I watched it at cinemas. At Cinema City, mate, when it just opened. What frustrated me the most about having to watch these movies at school, and there might have been some others as well, was looking around and the other kids were just engrossed in these. They loved them. And I just had to keep it to myself like, I hate this. I feel like I'm in jail watching this crap. I absolutely detested them. And yeah, I felt really like out of place because am I the only one who can't stand these films? They took us around. I remember when I was in New York on the movie tour, and it was really good. You get to see, they took us see, when Harry Met Sally, where she does that scene, the famous scene where she orgasms in the restaurant. They showed past that restaurant. It's called Katz's Diner. So, the Friends. They show there's always that scene where they show the apartment building.
Friends. How bad is Friends?
I don't say it's bad.
It's dated to me. Whereas I could watch Seinfeld any day of the week, and you can see that it's dated in terms of the look of the picture, right, and the style of clothing and maybe hairstyles, things like that. But it's not dated in terms of it's still funny. It's still just as funny. Whereas Friends, it's such an immature comedy. You know what I mean?
It hasn't dated as well as other comedy shows. Like I still reckon Frasier's hilarious. I like Frasier.
Yeah, Frasier's. I love that intelligent comedy. Yeah,
and even Cheers. I still like Cheers. I could watch Cheers.
Yeah, Cheers was always a favourite of mine. Probably before Seinfeld came along, right?
Yeah, but Cheers is still good. I watch episode Cheers, still laugh.
Yeah.
Frasier is fantastic. You still laugh.
Cheers is a bit silly, funny, but it's still good. Yeah.
Becca. I really liked Becca. I like that. He's witty. I liked his wittiness.
Dry humour.
I did like that.
Yeah.
So, but Seinfeld's really in a league.
It's in a category of its own, no doubt about it. Yeah. Friends, people often compare Friends and Seinfeld. You see articles sometimes. Friends and Seinfeld, which one's the best? Two different. They're not the same conversation, mate. Just
it's no, you can't compare. You can't.
Friends is for teenage. It's for teenage girls, mate. It's ugh.
Look, I watch Friends. I watch Friends. I still watch Friends at home.
I can't watch it.
Every now and then you're like, yeah, okay, that's a bit.
I mean, there's funny characters like Joey. All right,
Joey Tribbiani's.
He's my favourite character out of the 6. I used to watch, like when Friends was showing, the first showings, right, back in the day. I used to watch them just like everyone else at school, whatever. Everyone was into Friends, but I'm pretty sure the last maybe 2 or 3 seasons I'd given up, because I'd realised back then that I actually didn't really like it.
Again, my favourite TV show of all time is Top Gear, personally. But.
Oh, I was going to say The Wiggles. Speaking of The Wiggles, did you see that Lockie the Purple Wiggle was proposed to by his wife-to-be?
I heard that.
What do you think of that?
Oh, well, what do I think? He didn't take long to get it back on the horse, did he?
Well, good on him. Why should he have to wait?
Oh, but mate, it was like, Jesus Christ, how fast did he get divorced? And
he got screwed over. Come on.
That's all we know.
Well, anyway. But yeah, so he's proposed to his girlfriend, and then a week later or so, she's proposed back.
Oh, it's a dual proposal.
Yeah.
I never heard of a dual proposal.
Didn't you hear that? Did you read that?
Oh, dual proposal. I'm like,
What world are we living in, mate?
what's going on in this world?
I'll tell you.
Dual proposal.
He's not exactly, you know what I mean? He's not exactly coming across as the
Alpha male.
alpha male, let's say. You know, not that everybody has to be an alpha male, but come on, please.
At least be a male. No.
At least do our team a little bit of justice. You get proposed to. Actually, being proposed to by a woman it's not such a bad thing. But the fact that you've already done it, what do you need to be proposed back to for?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
What, do you have to say yes and then she's got to say yes, or she says yes and you have to say yes?
One had to ask the other, then the other had to ask the original one.
Aren't you asking the question? That's it. So I'm obviously agreeing with it because I'm asking you the question.
Will you marry me? Yeah, I'll marry you. Now, will you marry me? Oh, yeah, I'll marry you too. I'll marry you back. What? Just I don't know. It does not compute. But anyway, go Lockie.
Go Lockie. Good on him. If that's what he wants to do, so be it. You know, Wiggles. Actually, my daughter's gone off the Wiggles, thank God.
My daughter swings back between Peppa Pig and the Wiggles sometimes. I think she's...
Oh, thank God. I'm just so over it.
The other one that she loves is Ben and Holly.
Don't know that one.
Yeah, it's made by the Peppa Pig people.
Well, my daughter's grown up real fast in this past 3-4 months. She's moved on to vampires now. She likes watching a vampire show. Don't ask me why, how, or what. Or she's watching vampires.